In today's episode of the podcast, and all this week, in fact, we are thinking about Youier productivity, or Youier Get Stuff Done. I am your host, Elle Edwards, founder of the Faith and Business Playground, here with mentoring, accountability, and this podcast to help you embrace your inner weirdo, to help you be Youier, so you can make Jesus CEO of your life and business. And of course, I have that reminder for you. If as a result of listening along this week, you realize you could use some practical support with that accountability piece, I would invite you to check out one of two options. There's the League of Brilliance, which is my group accountability and mentoring community, theleagueofbrilliance.com, and we can also do it one-on-one. And you need to go to rentaboss.uk to find out more about that. I will put links to both of those in the show notes. But without further ado, let's crack on with today's episode. So today's episode really ties in with something that we talked about earlier in the week. So if you've been listening along all week, you will have heard me remind you that if there are points where you're not sure, that reminder that you can ask God. Now, I don't know if I've told this story on the podcast before, but I had a conversation with a friend some time ago about how, well, this wasn't the essence of the whole conversation, but one of the things we talked about was actually how God wants to be involved in all aspects of our lives. And so there was that question of, well, this work that I'm called to do, is it holy enough? Was one of the questions that came up. And the conclusion that we came to, and I reminded my friend of, was I became the person that I am today and have the relationship that I have today with Jesus because of an online weight loss course, a Bible-based weight loss course, which to my mind, if you're going to think of things that are, probably not very holy, weight loss. I mean, the weight loss industry is worth millions and billions of pounds probably, but it doesn't really talk much in the Bible about what we eat and what we drink. It does a little bit. It talks about how whatever you eat, whatever you drink, do it for the glory of God, give thanks, all that sort of stuff. So there are mentions of it, but it's not your classic sort of like God work. And however, as a result of that online Bible weight loss course, I started to realize that actually God is interested in every single aspect of your life, including what goes into your mouth, which if you're somebody who is trying to cut back on donuts, for example, and you're not hungry, but you're tempted to eat a donut, the teaching via this course was, well, actually, you can ask God to help you. So if you're struggling with temptation, ask God to help you, because God is interested in everything. And that was a real aha for me. And it was probably about, I want to say maybe 10 years ago or more that I did that course. But it was really instrumental in honing me to become the person that I am today. And so that reminder that God is interested in everything. So if, as you've been listening along this week and you've been thinking, okay, I want to get stuff done, I feel like the work that I'm doing is really important, it's God-given, and I want to do it, and I want to do it in a way that honors the person that I am, but you're not sure. The verse I have for you today is quite a famous one. It says, "Be still and know that I am God." He's God, we're not, which I don't know about you, but I find that massively encouraging. And one of the pieces of the journey that I've been on as I've been working through this idea of Jesus being the CEO of our lives and our businesses is this contrast between offering stuff to God as a already laid out plan versus, okay, what do you think, God? Those are two very different perspectives and two very different heart positions. And it is a journey and it's a day by day thing. But this reminder that if you're not sure, just want to remind you today to be still. God says, be still and know that I am God. If you don't know, he does. Or even when you think you know, he still does. And that's meant by way of encouragement. And that's not to say that, because maybe you've had this experience, you've sat perhaps in church meetings, particularly like church business meetings. I don't mean necessarily the church service, but if you've ever been involved with helping with the day-to-day running of church, and you sit in church meetings and people talk about a project that's ongoing, for example, and somebody makes a suggestion and somebody else says, yes, okay, let's spend some time praying about it. Now, that's not to belittle prayer at all. Prayer is talking to God. Prayer is conversation. Prayer is fundamental to showing up and having a relationship with God. I'm not belittling prayer for 1 minute. However, traditionally, in some of the churches I've been in at least, it was used as a stalling tactic. Okay, well, yeah, somebody's made this suggestion, and actually it could be quite a sound suggestion, but we're going to sit on it and pray on it for months and months. And I believe that we should pray about things, and we should talk to God, and God wants to know and be involved in all of these parts of the decisions that we make, not just in the church, in our lives as well. But it's not meant as a stalling tactic. However, equally, we don't want to be people who are always go, 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 go. And I'm saying that with a wry smile on my face, because I am an activator. I'm somebody very much kind of, okay, what's the next step? And you've heard me say that before. I'm very much focused on, right, that's great, that's wonderful. Now what do we do? So I am a doer. But what the reminder is in my head, as my friend Jenny says, is actually it's not so much about doing, but about being. Who is this person that you are being, or being the person that God made you to be? And sometimes we need those reminders just to pause, just to wait, just to hold back and know that God is God and we are not. Be still and know that I am God. So if you're feeling a little bit uncertain today, if you can feel yourself going, and it all feels a bit frantic, just want to encourage you today to take some time just to stop, just to pause. Because yes, life is precious and time seems to go really fast. The older we get, it seems to speed up all the more. But there is nothing wrong with just pausing. And that's not stopping, that's pausing. You can pause and wait on God and lay it before him. You know, I've read, and I can't remember where I read this, but I read somewhere about this practice in the Bible, in the Jewish tradition, of actually laying stuff out, like on the floor in front of God. You know, if we could, depending on how this works for you, because of course this is always about doing it in the way that works for you and honors the person that you are. But if you're somebody who's a bit of a list maker, or you're someone who likes to process by writing, I would encourage you, if there's things that are on your mind, write them down and then actually literally lay them out in front of you. Hasn't got to be on the floor, it could be on your desk or whatever, but lay them in front of God, and just pause and give God that space and that freedom to have his will in that situation. Ultimately, his will is for you to be you. And if you can show up every single day, and I say this a lot, but if you can show up every single day, full to the top with God's love, embracing the person that God wants you to be, you are already living slap bang in the center of his will. But when you're trying to make a decision in your life or in your business, or if there's something feels uncertain, having someone like me just go, just be yourself, it's all cool, isn't particularly helpful. So instead, I want to just encourage you and remind you, if you don't know, God does. Be still and know that I am God. And that's all I have for you. It's my reminder, it's my encouragement. It's a reminder to myself as much as you, as is often the case. But if you are having one of those days where things are feeling a bit, just be encouraged, my friend. This too shall pass. I will be back tomorrow, and tomorrow we are going to celebrate the wins. So that's a bit of an upbeat episode to end the week with you. So if nothing else, you've got that to look forward to. I shall be back tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.